Today, in this video, I wear a hat, I talk to a dog,
Go see mommy,
and I stomp around in some mud.
Back in 1995, if you had told me that Lexus was one day going to make an electrified version of their dinosaur SUV, the LX, I would have told you you'd lost your marbles. First of all, I wasn't even alive in 95, but nowadays we have a rapidly booming full-size luxury SUV segment. So today, Lexus has been gracious enough to fly me out to Napa Valley, California, and give you the proper first experience of the LX 700H. Now welcome. A bit of a side note before we get started. This is actually my first time ever to the state of California. And as a Marylander, I thought I'd be soaking up sun rays and seeing beautiful blue skies, but it feels just like home. Right now, as you can see, we have the new ultra luxury model, but we'll be spending a majority of the day with the Overtrail. That's the one that I would get, of course. If you don't know too much about the LX though, Lexus introduced these things in 1995 for the 96 model year based on the 80 series Toyota Land Cruiser. It was intended to compete with the likes of the renowned Range Rover, the upcoming Lincoln Navigator. Of course, at the time it used a 4.5-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, but the original LX and Land Cruiser didn't sell too well because of the inline 6 compared to the V8s in its competition. In 2000, the 100 series Land Cruiser was debuted, and it featured a V8 engine finally as a standard option, more size inside, and a better ride on the road. And as we move to this modern century, of course, the LX has completely changed from its original 470 and 450 roots, but it still is Toyota and Lexus's full-size SUV. And this is actually the only version of Toyota's 300 series Land Cruiser that we get stateside. Nowadays, if you're looking at the LX, you're probably also cross-shopping the BMW X7, the Mercedes-Benz GLS, the new Cadillac Escalade, and other outlandish Luxo barges of 2025. Not too much has changed for 2025, but you can tell if you have a keen eye.
How would you like your keen eye to watch my sure foot kick your smart ass?
It is slightly different looking. Lexus did tweak the grille a little bit. Different trim levels will get different grills as well. But most of the updates that this LX received were under the hood and also on the interior as well. Thankfully for this video, I was able to choose the LX of my dreams. This one in particular is the 2025 LX 700H in the gorgeous Nori Green Pearl. It really is my favorite color that Lexus offers right now. The Overtrail will most certainly be the model to get if you're looking at off-roading and just driving in mud and muck. You don't have to worry about popping the low-profile tires on those 22s. And most importantly, you get a front, center, and rear locking differential, just like the 80 series Land Cruisers of the 90s. The MSRP of this thing as it's sitting right next to me is $118,000. Lexus offers the LX in a multitude of grades, as they call it, in hopes of catering to not just the off-road LX buyer, but also the uber luxury Beverly Hills LX as well. So we first start off with the LX 600 Premium, then the LX 600 F Sport, LX 600 Luxury. As we move up to the 700H, we start at the Overtrail like this one, then we move to the F Sport, Luxury, and then the Ultra Luxury. Now, even though for 25, this is the first time we've ever gotten a hybrid LX, this powertrain isn't exactly brand new though, because it's also shared in the new Tundra, the new Sequoia, and also its little brother, the GX550. So welcome back to the V35A FTS. This is replacing the 5.7 V8 of yesteryear. Seriously, rest in peace to that, but we do have a boatload of power out of this 3.5-liter twin turbocharged V6. Of course, because it's Toyota, it's port and direct injected, but in this case now it's paired to a hybrid system as well. Now it isn't a plug-in hybrid, so don't expect insane efficiency because this only gets 1 mile per gallon better than the LX 600. That gives it a combined average of about 20 miles a gallon. To me, that's fine for something that's this big, but I know a lot of people won't like that. As far as power figures are concerned though, this makes 457 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. Just like the normal gas LX 600, this uses a 10-speed automatic, full-time four-wheel drive, with a high and low range transfer case as well. These things are bred for off-road. Of course not this ultra luxe model like this one, but the body on frame characteristics of this truck really give it an advantage compared to its unibody competitors. Unlike previous V6 hybrid systems from Toyota, thank goodness this thing actually still retains the starter and alternator. So if the hybrid battery isn't able to hold a charge or the electric motor has some sort of issue, you can still drive this thing like it's a normal 600. I'm very glad that Toyota and Lexus did that, because I would be livid if my expensive truck was bricked because of the battery. Because of the off-road capability, Lexus also encased the battery pack of the LX 700H in a waterproof case as well. Water can still get in there, but if it does, there's a sensor that lets you know that the water is too deep. But Lexus says you can ford water as deep as 27.5 inches. As you can see for 25, the general shape of the LX stays the same as well. This thing sits at 200 inches long, making it about the same length as the current Honda Pilot, and then 11 inches shorter than the new Cadillac Escalade. Big! This ultra luxe model is riding on 22-inch alloy wheels. I really do like how they look, but again, I would get the Overtrail if I was going to be buying an LX. Also, as far as four-wheeling is concerned, the Overtrail LX isn't available, or just the LX isn't available with rock rails, unlike the GX 550. If you remember, we took that off-road a few months ago, and thankfully, that's why I'm here today. But so I don't get too distracted, Lexus does say that these running boards are durable, but I would still be pretty concerned to break one on a rock. So if this was my truck, I would certainly look for aftermarket rock rails. If Lexus is listening to this, please put that in your accessory catalog. All LXs though use the active height control system, so we have 4-corner adjustable suspension, so you can raise and lower your LX by the push of a button. This thing also uses AVS, which is adaptive variable suspension, so you can make this firm in Sport and Sport Plus, and soft in Comfort, Normal, and Off-Road mode. There certainly is a lot of technology in this thing, that's for sure. When it comes to storage and practicality, the LX gives me the same issues that I have with the new Sequoia, Land Cruiser, and I'm sure that new GX hybrid that's coming soon will have this same issue. Besides that, it's wonderful. You have a power tailgate. You can see where things get weird back here though. This is the wrong car, baby. Go see your mom. Go see mommy. Go see mommy. Go. Go see mommy. Go see mommy. Yay. Go see mommy. Go. Go. Go see mommy. Hi. Go. 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 Go see mommy. This is certainly where my biggest gripes with the 700H begin. It's not terrible, but it is a compromise in space because the hybrid battery actually lives in the trunk underneath the third row. As you can see, this one actually does have the third row. It's not standard on every LX. The third row is power. It goes up and down with power, but it's not a one-touch action like some other vehicles. You have to hold the buttons down all the time. This gives you 7 cubic feet of volume. Well, not this. Now, you have 7 cubic feet of volume behind the third row seat. I can't even fit my camera bag in here. Otherwise, you can put this little load floor down and then have a somewhat flat space, fold this down, and then doing this gives you 30 cubic feet of volume. It's really not that much for being such a big car. Compared to the old LX, this is pretty small. And then if you fold the second row seat down, you only get up to 62 cubic feet of volume. And as far as towing is concerned, all LXs can tow about 8,000 pounds. Most of them can tow 8,000 pounds. The Ultra Luxury and the F Sport trims can tow 7,700 pounds. And of course, we have a power tailgate. I don't know why it's beeping. I have the key on me. Thankfully, all LXs get a full-size spare tire, and because this one has the Toyo all-terrains on it, it has a matching full-size spare as well. Of course, when it's time to come inside the car, the rain kind of holds up, but welcome to the interior of the new 700H. If you're used to this new body LX, it's pretty similar. Things were tweaked a little bit, but first of all, here's the key fob for the 700H, Lexus's new modern key fob. As you can see, this one is LX number 11 today, but because of this, you can keep this anywhere inside the vehicle, put your foot on the brake, and press the power button to go. So now welcome to the LX 700H driving experience. It's been a few years since I've driven the 600 because I used to work at a Lexus dealership, and when these just came out, I was working there, and then I had just happened to leave. But I do like the LX. I really like the LX 470. That's realistically the LX that I would buy and afford. But it's crazy. Every LX is expensive. It is wet, so we're not going to be driving crazy. It's very quiet. I do like that this engine is more muted in this LX compared to the Tundra and Sequoia that I drove last year, 2 years ago. It feels very refined, and this thing rides very well, even with such big wheels. This is not a corner carver at all, but on this road, we are taking some corners. Thankfully, it's actually a visually stimulating road. I like the roads in Napa, but it takes the bumps well, and it doesn't seem to be jittering around on some bumps like some other trucks do. Even expensive trucks will still do that, some of them. Of course, it won't ride extremely supple like a unibody SUV, but I'm pretty satisfied with the ride. Once I find a straight road, then I'll let you know how I feel about the pan. But for now, it's good. It's very quiet in here. The brake pedal feels normal. Thankfully, this thing doesn't feel weird because it's a hybrid. It just feels like an LX. And in comparison between this and the GX, they feel pretty similar. The GX is already pretty big. It's just like a few inches shorter than this thing. But you do notice the difference in quality. This one certainly does feel nicer, I guess. It's not fast, but it accelerates, it gets out of its own way, it holds the road well. Don't expect sports sedan or sports SUV handling from this thing, but it does its job well. There's just nothing to complain about. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, because the steering is nice and effortless at all speeds. It is variable, of course, so when you're in a parking lot, it's very easy and light. It still is light now, to be honest, but it has a nice feeling to it. I am just in normal mode. If I wanted to be a little bit more dynamic, but safe, don't worry, I can pop myself in Sport Plus. You don't feel the speed. Of course, I haven't put my foot all the way down. Thankfully, the brakes feel good. I was gonna film there, but that parking lot is blocked. But this is not the SUV that you want to be driving aggressively around corners in. It's just not that type of truck. This thing is more of a cruising car. If you want to, you can, but I was trying it earlier, and I'm doing it now. It just doesn't feel balanced if you're trying to drive it in a sporty manner. The steering is not like extremely communicative because it is an SUV, but it's quick, gets to highway speeds relatively quick. I do appreciate the brakes. For Toyota SUV brakes, they're thankfully more responsive and not spongy like the older ones. Today we will be seeing how the Overtrail is off-road, but it's not bad. It's just not fun to do this, It feels like I have to drive on this road with this car. That's more what it feels like instead of I go find this road. In terms of MPGs, I can't really say too much because this thing is a pre-production model. And also because a bunch of people are testing it, we're just kind of driving it harder than not. So right now I've been getting like 14.5 mpg. I feel like that's what you'll normally see around town, unfortunately. At lower speeds, this thing does roll around in EV mode, but not like a Prius, of course. Since we're in here, we can talk about the LX's interior. First of all, we have Lexus's modern 3-spoke leather-wrapped steering wheel. In this case, it is heated, of course, and there's some nice dark wood trim on it as well. I really do like the interior color combination of this LX. I believe this sun flare interior color is new for this year. It reminds me of Atacama in Volvos, but there's just nothing to complain about. The seats are very comfortable. The driver's seat does massage. The rear seats also massage, but for some reason not the passenger seat, so you don't get massage. In modern Toyota and Lexus fashion, the gauges are completely digital. They're very easy to read, and thankfully when you have a GPS route in it, we can use the power now. I mean, it's good power, strong power, but it's nothing that's gonna make you scream or cry like you're cutting onions. This thing will always be happy to cruise around in comfort and normal mode. That's just where it really feels the happiest. In the center, you can see the LX, unlike the GX, uses 2 screens, and instead of the one big 14-inch display, I feel like I would prefer that big screen, but then the interior would just be like I'm in a GX. So I understand why they made it look different and kind of Land Rover-esque, but the dual screens can be a little bit overwhelming at first. It's mostly that lower screen. It deals with the climate control, and you can also monitor the drive modes that you're in. So there is a lot that you can see in there, but I don't know, it's just a little bit too much for me. The upper screen works much better though. This, as you can see, uses wired and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's very responsive, uses Lexus's modern connected services system. This does have quad zone climate control. The controls are embedded in the screen and also on some of these hard touch toggles or buttons as well. So I'm glad that there are some physical buttons for the climate. Underneath that, you can see the mode select ensemble. So when you're just normally driving, you can use this mode select dial to just go between drive modes. But if you're in multi-terrain select, it will go through the different terrain modes. And also if you're in crawl or downhill assist control, it can adjust the speed with that same dial as well. So I like that they made that one dial multi-purpose. Of course, all 4 seats are heated and ventilated. They do work very well. The steering wheel is, of course, heated as well. As I've been driving this, there's not really been much to complain about. This thing is comfortable. It handles well, it drives well. LXs have always just been good SUVs. I am surprised for the price of this thing that it has a normal single pane moonroof, but there are some things in the headliner for the rear seat passengers that they can mess with as well. This ultra luxury has an insane rear seat. It's only 2 seats back there, and it does impede in trunk space, but there's a center console, screens, everything to make you feel like a proper executive. Of course, this being a new vehicle, there's so much to talk about, but I don't want to make this too long. So certainly when I'm at home, we'll definitely get more time behind the wheel of this, but I've been thinking all day about going off-road, and that's my thing today. So let's do that. So we are fixing to take this 700h Overtrail off-road. Lexus set up a course for us in this vineyard. It's really been pretty to be out in wine country. Of course, as you would expect on these little roads that you could take a Lexus ES350 out through here. It takes the bumps very well. I'm just in high range now because I don't need any of the nonsense right now, but it is nice to know that I have a whole slew of off-road technology to get me through anything, but I really doubt that this course will be too difficult today. Hello.
Hey,
how you
doing,
I'm
man?
good. How are you?
Doing good. Not too
Thank
bad.
you. Good.
Good, man.
Nice 470.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have a recovery.
Yes, you do.
And that's the right one for me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No. What we'll do here, so we got a little off-road course for you.
For load?
So, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Dude, you're like the second guy who got that.
Oh yeah?
So many people are like,
and they're
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why is this working? It's like,
Yeah.
Just be...
Sounds
You
good.
got any other questions?
I think I'm good. The only thing, I don't know how long it's going for.
14 days. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding. I'm
I was like,
kidding.
oh shit.
No.
No, I'm just thinking probably after my first lap, I want to set up the tripod and try to get the thing going over.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Looks like you're the only one. I don't know. Are you the last guy to come?
I might be.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you are, good. Then
Okay.
you got time to do what you want.
Sweet. Okay.
So,
Thank
okay,
you.
cool, man. No problem, Bert.
Exciting.
Well, there you go. You should be ready to rock and roll.
Oh, I'm in neutral.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay. So, we will be attempting these little logs here. It's really not going to be any challenge for this thing at all. It's not phased. Yeah, look at that. Because this is the Overtrail, we get all the fancy screens in here, which make it very nice and easy. You can see where the front of the car is going, things like that. Thankfully, I have this lovely fellow here who's spotting me. I'll open the window. It's really just no problem. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm having fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you. It's really no trouble at all, man. It just like walks up it, walks over anything. Off-roading with something modern like this, so nice. Ooh. And then we'll take the mogul here. Yeah. Shit. Wow, I'm sure it's stretching. Wow, it's so composed. How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, I am too. Having a ball.
That course is holding together. I'm pretty
Yes,
happy.
I'm glad. Even though it's wet.
Slightly left. Right there is perfect.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Straight line over the top.
Thank you. Wow. That's crazy. I triggered the parking sensors. I just turn around.
Correct, yeah, you'll go up the hill, because if you're in, yep, correct. You'll just go up the hill, you can steer to the right, roll back, and then take a right back in.
Sweet. That's funny. Okay.
How'd that feel?
So nice.
Yeah.
And it's just like speed bumps. That's
Yeah,
it.
Heck yeah, man.
That's
Did you-
it.
I forgot to ask. Did you try the different modes yet?
No.
Crawling and all that?
Not yet.
Okay, perfect. You go
Yeah.
around again, you can-
Yeah. Oh, I'm having a ball already.
man.
It's been a while since I've been on dirt. Ugh.
on two wheels. Little left.
So what do you think? Should I try to back up it, or I'll go around again?
Okay. Just for fun.
Yeah.
So one thing you should do is lock the
rear.
rear. Center's good, right?
Yeah, center
It's already locked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A little left. That way. Yep. Now straight.
Doesn't really matter how deep it gets.
Like I said, I am back in Maryland, so I feel like I'm still in NorCal, but enough of me rambling. I appreciate you watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Remember to subscribe for more videos like this and more videos of just everything that I post. Again, thanks to Lexus and all those people for following me and believing in me, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, peeps.